Okay, before we start the meeting, I would like to ask Todd Hagee to step forward. Town of Claresholm and the council would like to thank you for your years of service as chief of the fire department. You're missed a lot, but we sure appreciate everything you did.
Thank you.
Oh, Mr. Mayor, if I can
Now, where would you like
Are
this?
you gonna open it?
That
Give us a better
background,
picture
background
than the
is
box.
good. That's great.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Here?
Yeah, right there.
It's probably that pearl necklace you were
Don't
looking
draw
for.
it.
Here we go.
Very nice.
Just move over this one. I'll get this.
Yeah, you just put it in the desk, you got 3 more years.
Take one.
Take up some more.
I'll shake your hand.
What's it hot?
Put your fingers
Are you ever
down
gonna get ready?
there. Fingers down there.
I'm moving in just a touch there. Perfect, thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you, really.
Thank you very much.
Todd, thank you.
Take care, Todd.
Oh.
Do I get to say something?
Oh, you can? Yeah, as long as it's nice.
I would like to thank the mayor and council for working with the fire department. You guys really are the success of the department, the support that you give to us and that your staff gives to us, so thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Todd. Take care.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll call this meeting to order, and we'll lead off with adoption of the agenda.
Make that motion.
Councillor Schultz? All in favor? Carried. Minutes from the regular meeting, May 13th. Anybody notice anything in there? Greg?
Everything look good? I'll make the motion to adopt regular meeting minutes as provided.
All in favor? Carried. Okay, we will move into delegation, fencing off Alicia area, Patterson Park, Irene Gladstone.
Stand up. Chair there if you want it.
Want to pass these around? Before I say anything, I want to thank very much for your honor and the ladies and gentlemen of the council for giving us the time to push our idea.
Okay.
Hey. If you look on the first page up, it's what we've got now, the landfill. There's nothing there except a few old trees and where we walk, the weird white suddenly lops circle is our path where we walk right now.
Mhm.
Move over to the next, I'd like to show you what we want to do with it. So we have 3 paths. And it'll be, I think about approximately, the large number is 16 acres of land there. It's probably more like about 12 because you have to take that,
Take the acreage out.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's that thing. But that's a large size park. It's gonna make us one of the biggest in Alberta,
Really?
which isn't it? Yeah. Most of them say about 6, 8. Yeah.
Thanks for your research.
And there's a thing on here, the parking lot, where it'll be where it is now from where, you know, if you've been over there. Okay, you know that,
Yep.
Yeah.
we want, this is where we
Sustain it.
start crying, yeah. Is we want 2 water, I would like to have 3 water sources, but I've been overruled and they say 2 will do it. So if we can get 2 water sources, it would be great. New traveling paths that'll add all kinds of ways for people to take their dog and to get their exercise. We do have some people that come who are just walkers. They come and walk
That's
there.
lovely.
Yeah,
Remember that.
that's nice. The next page this is what I copied a lot of this. This is from the one in Spruce Grove. Now, they got a lot more money than we have, but they only have 8 acres. And it'll give us an idea. I'd like to, somewhere down the line, when we get this going, to have put in a small one for small dogs, because they do tend to, yeah.
Smart.
And the next page is money. We need 3,247 feet of game fencing. Now, the game fencing keeps more things out than, like, it's not gonna be problems with animals that can climb through. You know, the normal sheep fencing is 6 inches both ways, and that's a pretty good size. Small dogs can get through it, foxes can get through it usually. Badger can get through anything, doesn't matter what we put up there.
Doesn't matter what you
Yeah. And the fencing, when it goes in, has to be 4 inches off the ground so that the mower can come in there and mow underneath it. We need posts. We need 2 small gates, one for people going in and one for people going out, so we don't get confusion down at the parking lot. The large gate for the mower to get in, the water sources. Now, I've talked to UFA once, and there was a miscalculation on the thing, and they said the fencing was gonna be $4,800. But it's gonna be less than that now that they've got the right figures. And that's supposed in total, but it doesn't include the gates and it doesn't include labor. And that's gonna be a killer. But we're waiting for 2 other estimates to come in and then a reassessment by UFA. So we have gone ahead and got some things done.
Nicely done.
This is the thing that comes out, it's on the net. And it's all, anybody that's looking for places to stay or things that have got a pet,
Right.
they go
okay.
and research, they go to this place and research, and it's all over. And I wanna see us on here.
Great idea. Yeah.
3 out of 4 of the motels and hotels here take dogs. One of them takes them for nothing. They don't actually charge you, that's a wheelchair. Yeah, just nice to know.
Yeah.
It's it would be a good thing for us to be on this, it'll bring people here.
Indeed.
And we're gonna get our signs into all the hotels and motels so that they know it's there, where it is, that if you're traveling with your dog, you can go over there. The campground and stuff like that, they can use it. It sounds, to some people, it sounds really dumb that we want to fence this in. Now, we get deer over there, we get fox, we get all kinds of things. I don't know why, but dogs seem to think that deer droppings are just hors d'oeuvres. And they're gonna catch all kinds of things doing that. They'll also stop some of the vehicles that are driven through there.
Indeed.
Well, in the winter, it's kind of handy because it gives us a way to walk, but,
Yeah.
but other than that, it's not a good thing. And it does have to be a safety thing. There's roads on 3 sides of that area.
Yeah.
Now, dogs chase cars as they get a chance. So we try to keep our dogs back from the road when we see a car coming. And there's also that lovely long walk there that brings the elders down from the Porcupine Hill there. Dogs are friendly. Elderly people are fragile.
That's right.
And those dogs are gonna get over there and be friendly and knock somebody over.
That's right.
So that's one of the things we're looking at. And the advertising and that sort of thing will do a lot of things for the good things for the town. We have people who would like to use the facility, and they say if it was fenced, we'd be there. So,
I understand.
yeah. We have lots of people, and I was surprised at the number because we started watching who used what. People stopping from between Lethbridge
I bet, hey?
and Calgary because they stop here regularly. They're up there and down regularly. A couple of people I've talked to who use the vets here in town, but are living in places like High River, they come early and let the dog loose for an hour in the parking over there, so that then they go to the vet. which is nice to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good research.
And we've been, we did an unofficial kind of survey of the people that are using it now. And we have anything from 2 people a day to 20 people a day. And just in a 1 or 2 hour period, we're
Yeah.
there. And it's wonderful. So, but we need some, we're gonna need some help. First of all, we need your permission that we can get started to build funds on this.
Okay, my first question, the 2 estimates you're waiting on, they're for the labor?
Yeah, and including neighboring, yeah. Because we didn't think that, we didn't know whether the town could provide the labor or not. That's a lot of labor on that.
It's a lot of labor.
Yeah.
Wouldn't think we would have the time and manpower for that.
No.
But,
You know,
no, I
So-
think it's being a former dog owner, mine died, but, I mean, I think it's a perfectly good project. So we have to take it under consideration. We never delivered one way or the other at the same meeting.
Yeah.
So next meeting, we will come back with an answer, but,
Can I ask a question?
yeah. all
So,
questions.
are you guys? Have you created a board then? Have you created? And are you working towards fundraising or grant writing?
well, that's
Have
what, we're gonna learn how to do this.
Okay,
Nobody
but that's
has-
sort of your intention is to become a board.
A board, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
yeah, for anybody that's silly enough to volunteer.
That's your heart.
A
That's
couple
your
of them are back there.
heart. Yeah, I'm getting that. Thanks. That's awesome.
So the town's
Wonderful
first got to
support.
designate it and give permission, and then
Yeah.
you can proceed.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right, well, give us, we will put it back on the agenda for next council meeting, and we'll give you an answer then.
well, thank you very much.
But, no, I think you did a lot of work, and if you could bring in those estimates, it would top
Yeah.
out the information, so
Yeah.
we would know what we're looking at. And
Could you also include getting water to there? Would that be possible to
we-
put that in?
We'll
the
get,
estimate?
we'll get the Mike to take care of
We
that.
will? Oh, okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay,
We'll get Mike to get a price on it, so.
okay.
Okay, perfect.
Blair's writing it down right now, so.
Perfect,
Thank
thanks.
you very much.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you so much,
Work.
thanks for your work, it's really awesome, appreciate it.
Thank you for coming. Thank you.
Gonna help make this town good.
Let's try and make it.
The elevators don't all go straight.
Good shit.
You wanna go down
It's
that
really
way,
good shit.
the doors open.
I wanna fall down the stairs.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Okay, delegation, Claresholm and District FCSS needs assessment. Barb,
Barb?
Barb. Barb.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. So I'm here to just discuss the results of the needs assessment that FCSS took in the fall. I apologize for tardiness, but life happened, so we finally got it all put together, and I believe you got it in your packages.
Sure
Copy?
did.
There's 80 pages. Did you read them all?
There is 80 pages indeed.
There is. So I've just sort of summarized some brief things that might be of interest. So we had 200 responses. Not bad. I think it could have been more, but we didn't push it quite as much as we should. More women than men responded. Majority of responses were over 65 years of age, and they lived in the town and not the MD. So the majority were in town, and they were retired. So we're looking at kind of a biased population. Most are planning to be here till death, so that's kind of a, I don't know, kind of a good thing, I guess.
Good information.
So we asked some questions about purchasing. Where did they purchase? So most of their purchases, 36% said that they did most of their purchases in Claresholm. 4% said all of their purchases, and half are 39%. So it's fairly spread out there. 12% say they do not have access to affordable, healthy food. So we didn't ask why in that question, but we're just assuming that maybe prices for them were healthy items. A lot of people were aware of the Good Food Box. So, I mean, if they
That's great.
want the healthy food, the choice is there for cheaper. Most people know their neighbors and have strong social connections within town, so that was good. They do say some of the newer people say it's hard to get to know people. We're not quite as friendly, and we get that a lot. So I don't know how true it is or how hard that they're trying, but 64% of the 188 people do not access FCSS. Some don't know what we are, some don't know what we do. So we really have a problem getting it out there, what we're in town for. Most people I take by their answers think that we're mostly just like doling out money for poor people. So
I saw that one answer. Isn't that for poor people?
yeah, we run a lot of programs for everybody, family and seniors and you know, individuals. It's not all to deal with poor people. We have a lot of partnering agencies that work with, you know, young families, and so we need to get that out there more. They are aware of all the partnering agencies, so we listed the ones that we give funding to every year, and everybody knew what they were, so that was a good. Best way that people prefer to advertise is through social media or the newspaper. 40%, we had a list of issues, they're all listed there, but issues there people might need some help, and the biggest one was 40% need mental health issues. So we do a lot of referring to the mental health clinic in town. We have a hospital that they can assess if there's any major important things. So that was one of the major things. There's two other things that they would be interested in is financial counseling, and we have done a program on that already. We only had about 4 people sign up. So, and future planning or goal setting is one of their other major things. 58% of 195 people are volunteering already in the community. So that's quite a big span. The reason some of them cited for not volunteering was health issues, too old, things like that. So there's lots of people out there, though, I think we can still draw from. Employment opportunities, if they were satisfied or not for adults, was pretty even. 44% were unsatisfied with the job opportunities and 44% were satisfied. And it was the same for the youth employment as well, the same statistics there. Yeah, same percentage.
Interesting.
Yep. 57% say that the housing is affordable, so that's encouraging. Grocery options, I'm sure that you're aware of that. So 28% are completely unsatisfied with the options for grocery shopping. 44% were unsatisfied, as opposed to 21% that were satisfied with the grocery option. Majority are satisfied with the affordable childcare option, as well as supervised youth activities, so that's kind of good. Transportation, we all know, is another major issue in our town. It was a split, though. 48 are unsatisfied to 52 that were satisfied. But if you threw in the word affordable, it changed. It became 56 unsatisfied to 44. So one simple little word there. Majority of people are satisfied with the information and the resources that they get from the town. I think that we've worked really hard to share a lot more information for what's going on, so they are much happier with that. And they're also satisfied with the Parks and Recreation Department, so we didn't get too many suggestions for that. So most of the comments, like I said, were about getting another grocery store and the transportation in town and just the clickiness of the town. So that was pretty much what we got out of our needs assessment. Is there any questions? We plan to put the results in the paper as we promised, so if there's anything that you need to know before that goes in, just let me know, and then we'll have it available in our office for people to have copies of it as well. The library's also asked for a request, so
Nice.
we did know this was our first time doing this format alone, so we did notice that the 2-part questions, we're probably going to scrap those for next year, because some of them you'll notice would be are you satisfied with, or do you volunteer, and then if not, why not? But then they would put oh, I volunteer at whatever, and so they're not really reading the questions. So we feel that we just need to have specific questions for next time. One yes or no answer or something like that. So we'll work on that for next time.
Thank you.
Our first one we did, we partnered with the library, but the library had all of their switchovers and things like that, so we attempted it on our own this year.
Nicely done.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
no
So-
questions?
Yeah, if you're gonna put these figures into the local press,
Yes.
are you going to write an article with it backing up, like answers for a lot of it, like the financial thing?
Yep.
Are you gonna put that in the
Yep.
paper that there is,
Yep.
like you have access to
Yeah.
helping these people with that?
Exactly. Yeah.
And, well, the clickiness of the town, I mean, maybe an explanation is go out and join some organizations and volunteer, you'll
Exactly.
meet more people.
Yeah, you will definitely meet more people.
So you are gonna break
There's-
it down. a
And
bit.
there's lots of good things in here as well that, you know, that people will see. I just kind of wanted to give you like the basics, but there's lots and lots of good. People are very pleased with things. There's some things in here that have already been activated. I was just looking to see if I could find the fenced dog park. I think there was one mention of it in here. But there's things like, the fire chief, full-time fire chief, so someone, you know, that was a suggestion, so that's already been done. So, I mean, things are, even without you seeing this, there have been some things that have been done already, right? So we can point that out too,
Cool beans.
and cross it off our list that it's done. Yeah, Brad,
Social media, that's the way people want to see it.
it is.
FCSS does a great job of telling everybody about the programs we have, like perhaps we should have what FCS is
Yeah.
and does.
It's on our website for sure.
Yeah.
One of the things here, and I don't think it's possible, but a social media that's like one lump of social media for the whole town that everybody can put. We have like Claire's Home Families Play. So all the young parents go to that specific site when they're looking for something to do with their young ones, right? So it's just hard because like especially Facebook, any of those, there's lumps of pages and nobody
Exactly.
really knows exactly where to go or how to find certain things.
Fragmented.
So yeah,
There's
it's
this,
very
that.
fragmented. So I mean, we have the calendar, we have a community calendar, it's online, it's in the newspaper. I don't know what else we
Right.
can do.
People
Town
s-
crier maybe is the only thing I can.
You just gotta click on it and figure it out, that's all it is.
I know,
Yeah.
I know.
Everything you need is there,
It's
it's just
all
a,
there.
It's just you gotta search.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm not savvy enough to know if there's an answer for that.
yeah.
I'm pretty tech illiterate.
Yeah,
So-
well, we're working on it, but I mean, it doesn't come easy, right? And
Yeah.
it takes coordination, like communication with everybody, and
That's right.
if everybody would feed their information to the calendar, it would work.
It would
but-
work better.
Yeah, but I mean, we just don't seem to have it. It's not working yet. It's not jived. So
I think we need one
Succinct calendar.
well, we
That
tried to do
offers
that.
all-
one Facebook page, town website, and everything gets funneled onto the.
So people
Town
could find
Facebook.
everything they would want under one heading. Certainly makes sense, yeah.
I don't know if that's possible.
I can't imagine, no.
We would have to talk
No
to
over
somebody.
there.
Lots of people.
It definitely would be nice if you could go somewhere in one stop,
One stop.
gets the information.
Yeah.
And at least the town, and again, I'm not sure how this works, but if there was better information on, say, the town website, so you could go there and I wanna find
FCSS.
social housing.
We are. on
You
there.
could click on FCSS, like there'd be a whatever you call it,
A link.
Yeah.
a what?
Yeah,
A
a
link.
A link. But I'm sure that there's an administrative response for it. I feel certain there's an administrative response.
We are not
Blair's
alone.
smiling.
I know other FCSSs in every community are struggling with the
Same thing, hey?
It's
Yeah.
just one of those concepts that people just don't, unless they've been with been in the office or if they needed to come
If they utilize the service and they know what the service is for, it's
Yeah.
for those people
People are
who
just,
aren't, they're
yeah.
just
Generally
stuck.
so autonomous, hey? People are
Right.
so autonomous. They're so used to doing everything alone that
Mhm.
don't consider that these things are just things. It's,
Right.
there's no stigma. It's just a thing that's
Yeah,
there if you
it's
want to
just
use
a
it.
thing.
A really super convenient thing that could really help you out.
Yeah,
Time
there
saving.
is, if there was a way to get out, like affordable housing, I mean, I've been to a couple of seminars lately and, not here, in other towns, and Red Deer was the last one, and when you compare what we've got to other towns, we're way ahead of it,
Oh boy, are we.
We sure are.
way ahead of the
We're
curve,
very
but
fortunate here.
if
in
it
this town.
isn't put out there and people don't know about it, it's a problem too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, we're a referral service, right? So if
Yeah.
people come in with their problems, we refer them out, but
Yeah.
But they
if they
gotta,
don't
But the-
come in, if they can't find us, then
It's,
Yeah.
I think the concept of it is what's not out there, right? Just getting that concept out there. That's a good reminder for me.
yeah,
to-
somehow we gotta educate
it
them
out
more
there.
that
Yeah.
everything that you do, and I guess, I mean, the local press is one media, but it's a very limited media. Because, and social media is also, they both have
Very
their
limited.
limitations for that age group that you're focusing on.
But even if there's maybe more collaborative functions, so that FCSS is just seen as another extension of what goes on in this town. Because that's always a good way to get it across broader planes, maybe.
possibly.
Possibly.
Anyway,
Perfect.
Okay, things to think
that's
about.
all. Thank you
Okay,
very much
thanks
for
so
your
much, Barb.
time.
Really appreciate
for your work.
Your work. Really
We
appreciate
read it all. It was
You did?
interesting. It
Every
was.
single word.
Everything?
The one guy said he bought them, when they asked how long you planning to live here, he said at least 200 years because he bought a plot.
Yeah.
200 years.
That was his answer.
Okay.
Thank you, Barb.
Because he bought a plot.
Okay, we'll move on to action items. Bylaw 1669. The borrowing bylaw. Bylaw to repeal the borrowing bylaw is 1645. Now, this is the loan we took out in planning for the multi-use building. Now that we've decided to spend more time researching, we must pull that bylaw back until we know exactly what we're gonna do, and we'll readdress borrowing at that time. And we can only do first reading tonight, so if somebody would be willing to put first reading forward? Gavin? Sure. Councillor Moore, one. Any questions? Blair's here, you can answer all the questions on it.
Pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
List
It's
of
pretty
words.
self-explanatory. Just wanna make sure it's all clear. You know,
The
we're not-
only, sorry,
Yeah,
the only
go
thing a little bit interesting with this is that it does have to be advertised in the same manner as which the borrowing
Yeah.
bylaw originally was
Yeah, it
advertised. So this will have to be advertised for 2 weeks, as the original borrowing
Mhm.
bylaw was, before we can proceed to
And we'll have a
second,
public
third
hearing at the next.
reading. No public
No.
hearing,
You
just
sure you don't have to have a
advertising.
public hearing?
Yeah.
Marion thought you did.
Not for borrowing bylaws.
Oh, this is to repeal the borrowing bylaw. Oh, perfect. Okay, then we won't have to have that.
Excellent.
Anything else? Okay, question.
Moved by Councillor Moore to give bylaw number 1669 a bylaw to repeal borrowing bylaw number 1645, first reading.
All in favor? Carried. Number 2, delegation response, Clairzone and District Transportation Society re the future of the Transportation Society. I was gonna let Lee speak to it. Do you have anything you wanna say first?
The only thing I have to add to this is Marion did have a chance to speak with Cindy Vizzuti with the MD. Both of their recommendations is that this be referred to the JEDI committee for further research and discussion.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to put a Band-Aid on it at this point.
Yeah, and that's where I was at, with talking with them both.
Okay.
So.
Yep.
So, do you wanna speak on it at all? You're on the,
I'm not sure there's really
there's not
anything
much to say.
to add to it. We
Basically,
just needed
We need more,
to let it be out there.
to look at their finances, we're gonna have to partner with the MD and look at their finances. And then we're gonna have to make a game plan for them. And to do that tonight, we don't have the information
No.
before us.
No, for sure.
And I have talked to Marion, and the MD is on board with having discussions and trying to come up with a solution between us. This is not gonna happen overnight.
No, and I just would like to offer that because of it being in the paper 2 2 weeks in a row, we've gotten lots of response, which has been great, which was sort of half the point as well. Not only there's a bit of suffering going on, but it's, there's people who are reaching out with good ideas and solutions, so it's been a win-win in lots of ways. So appreciate the diligence and it being referred, and I'll let them know. I'm
Okay,
sure you'll
so-
let them know as well,
So,
right?
I think we'll just leave this alone until the Jedi has a chance to meet. And we'll formulate a plan and then we'll bring it back to council.
Okay. And we did have Roger Reed at our last transportation meeting. He's in UMLA, and we were really lucky to have him there, and he listened to us for quite a long time. And it's across the board for transportation societies. They're all having a really tough time. So there's a legitimate thing. So it's
Yeah,
being
we're not-
supported.
We're not the only community.
Oh gosh, no.
No, for
No.
sure.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll move on. Number 3, correspondence, the Honorable Josephine Hahn.
That's a spelling error on there. It's Josephine.
Okay.
It's an I, not a no.
I've never heard that name before. Josephine Bond, Minister of Seniors and Housing. Oh, this is for the Seniors Week, to ask us to proclaim it to be Seniors Week. We usually don't. If you proclaimed everything that was ever asked, you'd be, every week would be dedicated to something. So if it's okay with you, we'll just take this for information. Number 4, correspondence, South Grow Regional Initiative. Invitation to attend the South Grow 2019 AGM, June 13th, 2019. Brad, you'd like to say something, wouldn't you?
Yes. Council's invited. We need our VSP.
Tomorrow morning.
You aren't tomorrow morning?
No, you have to. The deadline is tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
I did.
Did you? Okay. So who else wants to come? I'll just email Peter and tell
I would like to go.
Keith.
And it's invitation to spouses too, if you want to take your better half.
Okay. Can I ask Dave tonight then?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me know in the morning.
Put me
Yeah,
down for
that'll be
2.
a yes.
Everybody.
Yeah, put me down for 2. He's
Gavin?
Sure.
I'd like to, but I
Okay.
can't commit to that.
Just put me down
Okay.
for, I'm not gonna call you, just put me down for 2.
The 13th is a Wednesday?
Thursday.
It's a Thursday. June 14th.
It's at the Bomber Command, is it not?
No,
It's here.
This
Like-
one's here? Which one?
Legion. Alberta
Oh, I
Southwest.
got
Yeah,
the
there's
wrong
one at the
I've
bottom.
got
too.
about a dozen.
I
of
know.
them.
Another one, yeah.
Yeah.
That's before this one. That's the
This is the
5th
one
of
with Jeff.
June.
Yes, that's next month. Yeah. Okay, so we've got a head count?
I was just going to comment that yes, Claris Home is hosting this AGM, and the Jeff Nielsen from Custom Cannabis is presenting at this.
Yep.
And this is we just became members of South Grow here a month or so ago,
Yeah.
and they're already
They've already
No.
come to our door.
yeah.
So,
Yeah,
So,
it's pretty cool.
that's awesome.
Right on.
Peter said he had more people from the Alberta government coming and board members, so he was poking everybody to get. So there's Alberta government's coming too. So.
Okay.
Right on. Excellent.
So you will respond on behalf of us saying, we don't have to respond to nobody, you will.
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
You're
Okay,
good
so
man.
everybody,
in.
if you could all
Times
get
2.
your numbers into Brad tonight or tomorrow
I
morning.
told him 2. Yeah.
You don't like it?
Just one. She's working.
Okay, any other discussion on this? We can move on.
Thank you.
Number 5, correspondence, Royal Canadian Legion, the Alberta Northwest Command, its commemorative history book, as for the information in here. Blair, do you want to throw a little tidbit in there?
Yeah, so they're just looking for asking us to show our support by purchasing advertisement in their military service recognition book. We have done so for the last 10, 11 years, since 2008. And so administration is just suggesting that we continue with the same support we've done in the past with another quarter page ad. Pricing in 2019 is the same as it was in 2018, $442.86 plus GST.
Any questions? Motion? Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make it.
Councilor Schultz? Question?
Moved by Councillor Schultz to support the military service recognition book produced by the Royal Canadian Legion Campaign Office in the amount of $442.86 plus GST for 2020.
All in favor? Carried. Number 6, Correspondence, Southern Alberta Energy from Waste Association Annual General Meeting. Brad, you attended.
Yes. When this first started, this project, the base support was Highway 1 South. Well, that's changed. It's mostly Highway 1 North. So everybody else has quit being members of that association quite a while ago. South. There's Coaldale, County of Lethbridge, Vulcan, and County of Vulcan, and County of Ranchland that are south. That's it. Everybody else is north. So the project that we were interested in is not gonna happen here. I didn't take too kindly to the reference by both the chairman and the vice chairman that there was one community that applied for that facility that weren't members. Didn't name us by name, but it was clearly obvious who they were talking about. So I wasn't revved up about that. They're getting funding for siting, but there's no funding for building the actual facility yet. So I don't support joining this association.
Any questions? So we'll just
It's a
leave
good
it.
idea, but
It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Not
There's
yet,
no need for
anyway.
correspondence with them. We'll just leave it, take it for information.
I can add that our last year of membership was 2015, and membership was $1,500 at that point in time.
it's gone up. It's 53 cents per capita now.
Well, the MD and us were solidly behind it until we found out that it really isn't going to happen down here, and that was back in 15 we found that out. Because Calgary will not support it, and without Calgary there's not enough.
They need a rail line, major highway access, and water. And I asked a few questions and I didn't like the answers I got, so.
Fair enough.
Okay, we'll move on.
Thank you.
Thank you for going.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Number 7.
Yeah.
The Rocky Mountain Dress Club.
Sorry.
They have requested to set up again, the same as last year. And they've given us the 2 options again, but there's really only one option because the private land, the Harvest Square isn't really, the people that own that are not interested. So there's only the one option. It went over very well. I attended last year. There was a lot of people there. I think it'll be bigger this year. It was a very impressive setup. It was very safe, the way they handled it. And it's only 45 minutes, but it's a great addition to our fair days. And from speaking for myself, I would like us to support it. So
Oh,
I'll throw it out to you guys.
So I do have one question. It does say here, one of our 3 proposed locations. There was only 2 on the thing.
What's
Right.
this? That's probably
The 3 was, forgot to update that from last year's. There was 3 proposals last year, there's only 2
To this,
year.
okay,
Just
sorry.
missed
I was just
updating
wondering,
it.
no, that's, okay,
I
no,
missed
this
that.
was great last year.
right.
I heard a
Yep.
lot of good feedback from it, and a lot of people, the type of people that actually come to these, like even the races that they have out at the airport, a lot of people thought it would just be your normal kids with beat up old cars that are just trying to do it, but the people that have actually come out that Jason's brought in, like there's some impressive cars and some good
Yes, there
driving and stuff that's on there. Like it's I'm behind it 110%.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm not sure we gotta make a motion. I think we recommend it to the committee that's running fair days, or do we need a motion?
I think we should have a motion. The other thing I was just gonna ask you is, there was some recommendations in the, info brief that was attached. I just wanted to know if you wanted those included in the motion.
Like, do we
More
know if the
about
fire
crowd
department's gonna
control.
be there? Do we know?
That hasn't been,
I think,
looked at.
The way it worked out last year, it worked out great. You didn't have the fire department there last year.
No, but we have spoke to the fire department, they'd be more than willing to participate this year. They were excited to have their staff there to watch as well, and to, they said, let us bring a foam truck over just in case there's something. And so we're all happy for them to be involved. If they're willing to do that, that would be great.
Okay, so would somebody be willing to make a motion to support this function on Fair
I'll make
Days?
that motion to support the function with the, you know, cause it does say stuff about, you know, the recommendations about the safety vests and all those kinds of things, as long as those are all being followed. And it increases the safety of the event and,
Yeah, we'll be able to be better organized this time. It was
Right.
a little bit last minute last time, and so that's why we wanted to get ahead of, I'm
Nice.
grateful. Brady phoned me and said, hey, it's time to start something.
little
I'm
reminder.
Like I just
Yeah.
came straight from
no,
the field here,
Last
so
year,
we're kinda busy, but we wanna make sure we
Yep.
get it better and better.
well, if you do it as well as last year, you'll be fine, because it was, the way it was run, you had the barricades up, you had people standing around
Right.
protecting, and I thought it was well run.
Well, thank you. And we appreciate the town's participation too. It was town crews that helped with barricades and
Right.
stuff. That was, yeah, street sweeping before and after the event. It was really fantastic. So,
Nice.
yeah, with the partnership with the community, we hope to do something a little better and bigger this year. And we're very particular on the cars that do come. We want it to be the proper kind of show. So that's what we're hoping for, and
Perfect.
the right kind of media coverage too. So.
Yeah.
Nice.
It speaks lots for the town of Claresholm, who have kind of embraced this kind of activity. There aren't many communities that do that, and people are recognizing that. It's fantastic, thank you.
Awesome. So many cheerleaders out there for
Okay,
Fairfield,
question.
eh? So beautiful.
Sorry, I don't think anybody actually made the motion.
Right.
Okay. So I did put those other things in there, and if you don't want them in there, then please let me know.
No,
Well, I don't think you have to make it too carried away, just promoting safety.
mhm.
Yeah. Well, I'll read it and then
See
if
what
you
you
think
got.
it's silly. I moved by Councillor Cutler to allow the Rocky Mountain Drift Club to hold a drifting demonstration during Fair Days on Second Street East between 43rd and 47th Avenue, on the stipulation that they provide sufficient volunteers with identifiable shirts to coordinate drivers, that they manage parking and provide crowd control, as well as limit spectators to a designated viewing area.
Seems fine.
I have
For
one
me-
question. Can I ask a question? And it won't intercede with Lauren's events. You've talked to Lauren?
Yeah, like last year, that was kind of the last minute problem, was we were trying to get permission, so Lauren was already making plans.
Yeah.
If we're far enough ahead now that we'll work with Lauren and make sure that the timing is good.
Because we want people to attend both,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
We totally want them to be able to do both
Yeah.
things. So
Yeah,
it's
and we
ideal
wanna
for
participate
everyone.
in the parade as well, so we wanna make sure that we're in the right spots at the right time.
Okay.
So that's
Okay.
kind of that's the reason for the time limit as well. We wanna make sure we're,
Lauren's events begin right after the parade ends, so this will be prior, then parade.
Prior to the parade.
Like last year.
Thanks, Brady.
I mean, that's not ideal for us, but it works and we get people out.
It'll be good to get them revved for
Wakes
the
the town
day.
up.
That's
Get them revved. You'll be amazed how many are going to come out this year.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, I
Yeah, we'll
think it'll be
get
really
some more
good.
advertising out and
Yeah.
advertise a little better this year.
It's
Well,
good
let's
business.
hear the question one more time.
Sorry.
Moved by Councillor Cutler to allow the Rocky Mountain Drift Club to hold a drifting demonstration during Fair Days on Second Street East between 43rd and 47th Avenue, on the stipulation that they provide sufficient volunteers with identifiable shirts to coordinate drivers, that they manage parking and provide crowd control, as well as limit spectators to a designated viewing area.
All in favor? Carried.
Awesome, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for what you did.
Number 8, request for decision, Claresholm Seniors drop-in expansion. You wanted,
Sure. So the Claresholm Seniors Drop-In Center is a community organization that is membership-based organization open to all individuals 45 years of age and older. They operate out of the building on at 5009 2nd Street East, just down from the lights, which is a town-owned building. The organization leases the building from the town at a base rent of $1 a year. The lease currently was last renewed in 2017 and is valid until May 31, 2022. So a letter was received from the Claresholm Seniors Drop-In Center with draft plans for potential expansion of the building to add storage and workshop space. Since this land is owned by the town, they do need council approval to proceed. Let's see here, items such as parking will need to be reviewed to ensure the space utilized for the expansion has been extended. Additional parking could be accommodated to the north. Administration will require direction from council as to the approved space for an expansion. They had asked at one point in time to expand to the north, into the CPR rail area there. We directed
That's
them
west.
to,
That's west.
sorry, west, yes.
That's the way they're expanding west.
They're expanding mostly north.
West and
Mostly
north.
north.
But they were looking at mostly west, so they didn't get into the parking area, so they could leave the parking area as was. But as we don't yet know what is going to happen with that other CPR rail land, I know there's been other discussions in the past of parking their alley or whatever else with RVs or whatnot. So we have kind of directed them to stay within their within the lot there, and expand more to the north and to the west. So basically, they're just needing approval for an expansion. Once they get that kind of green light, they will get further actual architecturally drawn site plans and proceed with fundraising as well at that point. They're just looking for approval for an expansion.
I stopped and talked to the director today, with Lisa, and basically you got it in a nutshell. They're not sure where they're gonna get the funds from. They have roughly $50,000 worth of seed money to start. So they may need a letter, well, they would like to get a letter of support for a grant application, but I think first they gotta find what grant they're gonna apply for us to write a letter for it. So right now, if you're okay with them expanding that, let's just give them support for that. Any questions on it?
I can offer some insight on what their intention is. Well, maybe you saw it off of the drawing. But Laurie, who's sort of the impetus of this, was a woodshop teacher, and he's got everything, and would make sure it's stocked with everything. But it's to create a woodshop so that men who maybe don't want to play bingo or cards or do yoga have something that will be more bountiful. And he'll teach classes to anybody. It doesn't matter their age. So you could learn excellent wood skills. Since it's not really exclusively a senior center anymore. That designation is no longer applicable.
It's no longer proper.
Yeah, no ageism allowed.
It's a social center.
It's a social center. Yeah, so win-win for the community for sure, I think. Huge win for our community.
Okay, would anybody like to make that motion?
The only other question I had is, when they said quilting and wood, where it says remove the part, are they actually expanding the quilting part too?
Well, they really don't know yet.
Yeah,
That's
okay,
just
this
a
is just a
preliminary
kind of
concept.
concept stage? Oh, okay.
It's a little early to be asking
I think
exact
it
questions.
would naturally expand. It would need to because they do have quite a few members there.
Yeah. Oh, that's fine.
And their
It is
lot
all-
goes north quite a bit too,
Yeah.
from where.
Yeah,
the
they've
end of
got
the
quite a bit of
parking
room
lot.
there.
They're just looking to
They're
make sure we
just
give
looking-
them their blessings
because
so
this
they
is
can get
just
some
a
drawings.
this is
Bless
very
them.
preliminary. She told us.
Yeah.
I can make the motion that we support that.
Nice.
Okay.
There's not much room in the quilting room for me.
It's pretty squishy. And
Question.
How did we do that?
Moved by Councillor Moore to approve the use of town-owned land for the expansion addition of the seniors drop-in center, provided all new development is contained within the existing property boundaries and any applicable permits for the construction of the addition have been approved.
Look, yeah, you talk a lot. Jeez.
Nicely worded.
I could have read that if you wanted to.
Yeah. All in favor?
Indeed.
Carried.
So good. So many
Number-
good things happening in this town, hey?
Number 9, request for decision, general contractor services. Blair.
So one of the biggest challenges that face the bylaw department is hiring contractors to follow through on enforcement action, whether that's cleaning sidewalks or shoveling sidewalks in the winter or mowing lawns, taking care of weeds, whatnot in the summer. So we, the current contract that we have for for a contractor, it has come to an end or is coming to an end here shortly. We put out a request for proposal. We only received one response back. That response back was from our current contractor. We have been very pleased with the current contractor. He's been our contractor for the past 5 years. They've always provided timely bills and adequate documentation for the work, as well as they have always provide very timely service, if not immediate, within 48 hours. And so the bylaw department is satisfied with the proposal received from Mowers and Blowers and recommends accepting their proposal.
Any questions?
Why are we wording it? You can give them 2 years with an option by the town to extend the term for an agreement for an additional year.
That's pretty standard contract.
Why not just pick a number, 2 or 3?
Well, because maybe it's a protection for both sides. If after 2 years one side's not happy, it's an automatic out.
Right.
That's the reason for it.
All right. Just seems like after 2 years, then just rehire
It's
them
up,
or don't
it's
hire
done,
them.
right? Yeah, I hear
Yeah,
you.
but after 2 years, you know, if things that they haven't been doing their jobs.
But it gives them security too, that they have the option of the third year too, right? Like
Oh.
it's just wording maybe more. But I hear what you're saying.
It's pretty
After 2
standard
years.
in agreements like this to have
Okay.
an extension clause in there.
Sounds good then.
Any other questions?
I'll make that motion.
Councilor Schlossberger? Question?
The only thing I was gonna mention is, I asked just to see when the agreement was up, and the current agreement expires May 31st. So I did put in the motion as of June 1st, just so that you know, and that's because that's when the agreement expires.
Okay.
So moved by Councilor Schlossberger to accept the proposal from Mowers and Blowers to become the Town of Clarkstone General Contractor for the term of 2 years from June 1st, 2019, with the option of the Town of Clarkstone to extend the term of the agreement for an additional year.
All in favor? Carried. Request for decision, pavement overlay. This is that intersection that's falling apart.
Yeah.
Claire?
There.
So this past winter, this past February especially, was extremely cold, and it caused a fair bit of havoc to our streets around town. One particular area that is bad is the corner of 51st Avenue West and 5th Street. I don't know if you've had the pleasure of driving that little section of road there. There's 3 or 4 spots in that one little area that have heated up and caused quite the little roller coaster through there. The cost, estimated cost to patch those 3-4 spots, they would have to be hand patched. They're not large enough spots to bring in an actual paver. Would be about $16,500. We can utilize the contractor that we have in town right now, already doing some of our infrastructure work. They've given us a quote to repave that whole intersection at a cost of $19,386. So for an additional $3,000, we can have the whole thing repaved rather than just some patchwork. Now this is our 2019 budget isn't sufficient for all the patchwork throughout town with all the heaving that occurred. So this would require some out-of-budget funds, and we're recommending that this be funded out of the general capital reserve.
Any questions?
So for clarity, it's covering from one intersection to the other intersection, because I know there's two. Like, I
No,
know
it's
that.
just that one whole intersection, so it'll
Just
extend each
Just be
direction
from
from
here.
that intersection all the ways, but it's
All
just that
the-
one picture
No,
there.
Mike, look here. It'll be from here to there. That's where it's all bad. Just that intersection.
It's about three
Okay,
houses there.
right. There's 3 houses. Are they going to hit all 3 of those houses?
I believe so,
Mike-
yes.
Mike thought 2.
Oh,
I
Mike
don't
knows better
think-
than I.
It doesn't fully encompass the 3 houses.
It doesn't.
It's just over the 2.
Okay, so there's one bad one right in front of the north
Oh.
or the east. Okay, okay.
It's on my route to work.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so it's,
Me too.
How's our utilities under there?
Yeah, that was my question.
Well, you know what? We're not paving the whole road. And to start taking the utilities apart at this stage, we do not have the funds for it.
Yeah.
So
It's a pretty small section of road.
Pretty
Start
small
worrying about
section of
the,
road.
Yeah.
you're
Utilities
talking
are
about a
just-
very small area.
So
Okay.
for clarity, $16,000
540
to
square
pave it,
meters.
$16,000 to patch it.
Yeah.
$19,000 to repave it and
Repave
get more
that area.
consistency.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it just makes no sense to patch.
No, not when we read those, yeah, for sure, but,
Because the patches,
Good
for
job,
one thing,
good job.
won't hold.
No,
They'll have a very short life.
yeah,
so it covers 2 houses, not the 3rd house.
that's great. Great that
Why
they're
Well, no,
Is it
that's
so
just what I
bad
was only
there?
wondering, like, if
Because
they're
of the
planning on redoing
defrost.
services on that street in a couple
Deep
years, so we might as well
defrost
save
caused
yourself
epic
the
heat in all
$3,000.
over town.
If we were doing that,
Right.
but
Tons of
it's not
spots
even
that
on the
just
short,
get
it's
No,
not
it's
even
on
the
the
long-term
years.
plan
Okay.
to redo that street.
Then that's fine.
It's been
Yes,
bad for
paving
years.
the whole thing
Yeah.
makes more
But
sense.
Yeah,
this
then
year,
I would
like, it
be
just
all
seemed
over
to
it.
Super.
heighten. Like, there's some roads in Lethbridge you can't drive down, but anyhow.
There's some bad,
Oh,
this year was very
Oh,
hard on
over.
roads.
everywhere.
So we're picking and
Just a
choosing what
fact.
we can afford to fix, and we're doing the
It's
best
a
we
busy
can.
intersection. It's a very busy
It
road.
is a
It's-
busy
It's a very busy,
You got a bunch
Location.
of kids down there.
Yeah.
it's an important location.
Okay, any other questions? Question, please.
I
Sorry, I don't know who actually made
I
the
can,
motion.
I thought Brad
the
made that.
motion that we repay,
No?
No, we didn't.
Nobody.
that we
Okay.
repave it.
Anybody wanna make a motion on that?
Gab just did.
Yeah?
Just throwing the money out tonight.
Yeah, we're just throwing money against the wall everywhere.
Evans.
Yeah,
Just doing it.
Kevin's on a roll.
Wow.
Moved by Councilor Moore to approve the out-of-budget expenditure of up to $19,386 for the pavement overlay at the corner of 51st Avenue and 5th Street West to be funded from general capital reserves.
All in favor? Carried. Boy, Gavin's name is on a lot of stuff. I didn't realize that.
Oh, yeah.
He's just spending money.
Just
hanging
hanging it.
Be quieter.
Number 11, request for decision of the Ball Diamond Users Ad Hoc Committee. What we have here is a general outline. I've spent quite a bit of time talking with Marion about this. They came with a proposal that had like 3 people here and 3 people in that group, and it was the numbers that were just, no, we gotta keep this committee small. So the recommendation you see before you is 1 person from each of these, and then Brad has already volunteered to be on this committee because he's part of the skate park.
You look surprised by that.
You love how I threw you under the bus there.
All right.
And I'm quite willing to sit on it with you also,
Perfect.
Who is?
me.
Okay, okay, good.
So
can't
there'll
make
be
the
2
next
councilors, 2 council representatives there. There'll be 1 person from Willow Creek Compton High School, 1 person from Claresholm Minor Ball, 1 from Co-ed Slow Pitch, and 1 person from the Skate Park Association.
And Parks Employee and Recreation Manager, and the Director of Infrastructure.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the
Yep.
groups,
Yep.
yeah. Yes, also,
And it's gonna be put together by, so admin is gonna be responsible for,
administration will take
admins-
care of all this, yeah.
we'll take care of all of this.
We just gotta make a motion to allow the ad hoc committee to be formed. The structure's right there.
So, I'm sorry, I just wanna understand, why is this ad hoc committee coming? So you need people who volunteer on the Skate Park Association to volunteer on another board? That
Well, what
is
this ad
a
hoc committee-
compilation of all of these things.
Oh, you were away, so you missed.
I must have missed something.
Okay, sorry about that. I'll explain it a little better. then.
No,
We are, yeah, she was away last. No, you weren't.
no, because you were worried about the skate park being
Well, it
lost
doesn't
in all
matter.
of this.
Let's,
This way, the skateboard has a voice.
okay, Mike,
But this is gonna
let's
be,
talk about this a little more. I'll give you a little more background on it. This is, first off, we approved to put the skate park in Moffett Park. There
oh,
was some
it's
concerns.
going to Moffett Park?
No, not closing it, changing it to a skate park. There was some concerns raised by Minor Ball, which brought into question quite a few things they mentioned about the facility. Millennium is underutilized because it's not functional for a lot of the different types of ball they play there. So what we need is to form a committee so we can study what we have to do to Millennium. Is the skate park a good mix to go into Moffett? To look at the whole picture before we spend any money
Okay,
on any of it.
okay, thank you. Appreciate it, got it now.
Any other questions?
And who's going on it? You
Isn't
and
he, you're on the skate park.
Well, that's why
association.
I wanted Brad on there because he's on
Yeah.
the skate park, so. And I'll go on.
They're gonna splice you, cut you in half?
Unless somebody else wants to take, I'm quite
No.
happy to step aside and let one of you guys take it.
That's okay. You're on that other park committee, I think it'd be good. You're already in the.
Well, I'm
in
quite
the-
willing to do it, but if you guys, Okay, we'll leave it with me on there.
Thank you.
You've got time.
Okay, motion, please. I got time.
I don't think anybody.
I'll make that motion.
That was asking-
That's right.
That's what I just asked for, a motion, please.
Make a motion to establish an ad hoc committee.
Any other questions? Question?
Moved by Councillor Zinner to establish an ad hoc committee as presented to make a recommendation to council on the future use and development of the ball diamond parks within the community.
All in favor? Carried. Number 12, request for direction, Fair Days Parade Route. As you can see, there was some discussion about different routes. I talked to Marion before she left, and realistically, the only real staging that works and route is the present one. There's no, if we were to use the alternate, there's no real staging area set up. I mean, that field is full. To stick them all in that little area,
Right here.
it's not gonna work.
No.
No.
The busiest part of the parade road is down by the hospital, too, where it seems like there's a lot
Yeah,
of
where it
folks.
starts. It's the
Yeah.
most congested area. Now, the big concern with this is, of course, the emergency vehicles, the road being blocked, but we have had ambulances go through, and they simply make way for it. There's never been a problem. And if something happens, there's a fire call, the firemen are all out in the parade in their trucks, so
Ready to roll.
they're just gonna roll.
May I ask who brought this forward?
I do not know who, I did not ask Marion that question, who brought it forward.
Okay.
Blair,
I
do you
think
know
it
who
was
brought it
from
forward?
more from the fire
The
department.
report here is from Ryan Rasmussen, the CPO officer.
Oh, cool beans.
So you think he came up with it, or just was?
He was the one that brought it forward. I think it was in conjunction with conversations he had with the fire chief and
I think we've been doing it this way forever,
So
because
long.
that field is very convenient for staging in when it's
So,
dry.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to conceptualialize, where are they suggesting the stage area? What is this? What's this part?
Centennial.
Is that the ball diamonds there? Is
Yeah.
this where the airplane is?
So we,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
so they
Hmm.
stage
Yeah.
back here and then come out there
And then
and
you
go
go on.
completely backwards on the route.
I don't mind a different route. But is
Heavy.
this gonna be easy for people to get in and out?
No, there's not enough room.
there's
No,
concern that there's
that's
not
it.
sufficient staging area in
This
Centennial.
isn't big enough.
Then you're sticking a whole bunch of stuff on ball diamonds and
Yeah.
And this is gonna be a screw up.
I get where they're coming from, not having to shut, well, you're not shutting down, but you're not congesting
Yeah.
You're
an
shutting
arterial road, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I get where you're coming from, but
but it works because of where the staging area is.
yes.
I mean, this only knocks 2 blocks off, well, actually knocks 3 blocks off the parade road. It's basically the same parade road,
Yeah.
just starting a block in. It's just that you're not going to get them all
Oh.
lined up in Centennial
It's
Park.
going to be so
behind the ball
squishy in
diamond.
there. Yeah.
It's not gonna happen, there's not enough room. So Marion and me talked about it, and Marion's recommendation was leave it as it is. You guys okay with that?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
That's what I was thinking.
We don't need a motion for that. No. Information brief, the MD of Willow Creek application. Oh, this is just information. Blair, you can give us a little overview?
Sure. So the MD of Willow Creek emailed a notice of a meeting in regards to an application for the installation of solar panels on a landowner's property within the MD. The deadline for comments was May 21st. That's passed. So the administration reviewed the application, did not identify any concerns with it. The installation is within the MD. It's not that close to the town of Claresholm. And so administration forwarded a letter basically indicating that they had no concerns.
And can I just ask why they need to add, what if they were within town limits and somebody wants these, so is it a problem for people to have them?
Within town, it would has to follow the land use bylaws, so certain areas can't have, I don't believe you can have ground mounted solar panels in residential
Okay.
areas,
You'd have to go on the roof.
They have
it has to go on a roof or something like that, and there's other regulations as well, depending on the size of the installation. If it's just to offset your local use, there's different regulations that if you're trying to have enough to actually add to the grid.
Thank you.
Okay, take it for information. Next one is CAO's report. We'll take that for information. Is there any questions come out of that for Blair?
Mm-mm.
Looked really good.
Okay, information, council resolution status. Again, any questions come out of there? 16, adoption of information items. And we decided to keep making a motion for that, we don't. Councilor Schlossberger? Any questions on the information items?
Nope.
Question?
Moved by Councillor Schlossberger to adopt the information items as presented.
All in favor? Carried. Motion to go in camera.
I'll make a motion to go
Councilor
to camera.
Zimmer? All in favor? All right, we're in camera. 5-minute break. Oh, camera off, please. Okay,
I'll make a motion to go on in camera.
all in favor? Councilor Carlson made a motion to adjourn. All in favor? Done. Camera off, please.